It's unbelievable how much support Doorways gives you. I know at the end of the day they have to go home, but it doesn't feel like it.
I think if Doorways hadn't been there to guide me through the process, I wouldn't be in the healing place where I am now.
I don't know, they were just good people, you know, authentic and just genuine about caring for the unfortunate situation that I found myself in.
I would say Doorways is one of the hardest working groups of people, and they probably have the biggest hearts.
The people that I have the opportunity to do such meaningful work with just absolutely inspire me every day.
I didn't come from a family that had everything, so that's not the story at all.
I was adopted at birth. I kind of had a bad upbringing.
My father didn't beat my mother or anything like that, but they didn't have a good relationship, so I didn't know what a good relationship was.
When I found out I was pregnant, I was not happy because I had just graduated from college and landed a job in my field. So having a baby was like, my life is over, oh my God, you know?
My ex has started to get really aggressive and with me and my daughter, and I had asked him to leave, but he wouldn't leave.
After some time, and I kind of just accepted the fact that this was happening, I got, more excited about, having a baby and just realizing that my life isn't going to be over. Like, people have babies all the time. But something unexpected happened again, and I went into labor at 23 weeks. So Zion was born at 1 pound and 5 ounces.
So the place that we were living was just unsafe for the kids. Just the mice, the bed bugs. I mean, you just close your door at night, and I had to barricade my bedroom door because you could hear them scratching to get through.
I remember one time he threw a hot pan of eggs at my back when I was walking out the kitchen. And my son ran to me and he was like, "Mommy, let me see your back. I think you got burned." And I was like, "I didn't get burned." I was like, "It's okay, it was an accident, And he was like, "No, it wasn't, Mommy. He did it on purpose." My son was a little kid, for him to see that.
So we spent that 6 months in the NICU having respiratory issues, surgery on her heart, infections, checking for bleeding in her brain. And so every week you just didn't know if it was a good week or if it was a bad week.
I was just so scared because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't want to lose Jashawn. I was just scared because I knew that if I couldn't have properly housing, that I might lose my child. And I was pregnant, so I was just a mess. We basically just left. I couldn't take it.
When you think of homelessness, you don't often think of children. But here at Doorways, over half of our clients are kids.
When we lost our living situation, we were forced to live in a car. It was kind of hard because at that time we had Deshawn. And you look in the backseat of the car and your son's sleeping. And you can't sleep.
It had been 6 months and her doctors were telling me that she would not be capable of going into daycares or being exposed, or she would be hospitalized again from being sick. And I didn't have the support of my family or her father or anybody. I really just was doing it on my own. I have to quit my job to take care of her, but quitting my job has left me essentially homeless.
I think I was financially tied to him, and I didn't see how I could do it without him.
It was just a really devastating moment. My baby's coming home soon and I don't have anywhere for her to be.
He had already hurt my oldest, and I saw her light dim. I didn't want that to happen with my other two.
We actually went to social services, and she put us on a waiting list for Doorways. And surprisingly, 2 weeks later, or not even a week later, we get a call, and they're like, "We have an appointment, we want you to come down."
I got linked up with Doorways, and I thought that I would have to go into this place like how you see on the movies, where you're like holding all your belongings, you're like looking at people like, don't touch me.
From came to Doorways, oh my gosh. First we couldn't find the place because Doorways doesn't look like a shelter at all.
I drive up and it's like this beautiful suburban home and I'm like, am I in the right place?
It just didn't feel like you're in a shelter. You feel like you're at home.
With Christina, we really just worked progressively from basic needs up and started with things like knowing how to take care of her kids and knowing how to supervise them, how to make sure they were safe, just basic things that no one had ever taught her.
Jenna kept asking me about baking, and I love to do it. And next thing I know, I outreached to another program called Together We Bake. It was an 8-week course. Jenna made sure that I got there every day. But when I graduated, I had everybody from Doorways there supporting me. They stuck by me through everything. It's just gratefulness.
When Erica came to Doorways, she decided to go for a protective order.
Walking into the process was difficult for me. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Erica was granted a 2-year protective order with the help of Doorways, the core advocacy program. We worked together in trying to make sure that her voice was heard.
Doorways guided me through everything and helped me understand that a toxic relationship was not the best option for me, that I deserved more.
When everything was sort of over, that, he was no longer a threat. Just to say, I can come home in the evening and not worry. Not have to lock my doors, not have to be worried about my kids. That was such a blessing for her. And seeing that change was wow.
It's an organization that's really helping everyday people. What happened to me could have happened to anybody.
I mean, I worked a long way. I got a job. I have a car right now because of Doorways, because I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and they've helped me out a lot.
My kids now are more confident, stronger, just happier.
Doorways really helped me get back on track. They opened those doors and created those opportunities. So getting those keys and signing the lease and having my own apartment was just like a huge relief. I just was so excited to finally, have my own place and just have a home to give my daughter. So for that, I'm forever grateful.
Nothing feels better than going home, putting a key in your door, and sitting down and saying, this is mine.
They gave you tools to learn how to survive under these circumstances financially.
Honestly, I had no sense of money, nothing. They showed me a lot about saving. Now I know how to manage my money, and that was one of the biggest things.
It wasn't just catching me, they were also, teaching me and giving me that responsibility to kind of get back in the flow.
If Doorways hadn't been there to guide me, I would not have known how to go through the legal system.
The thought of Doorways not existing literally makes me want to cry because there was no options. There were no people to turn to. There was nothing.
We're in a position that we have supports put in place that helps survivors move forward in life. It's not a little bandage to a big problem. It's a long-term solution that we have.
It's not about any special choices that you make sometimes, that life just happens and there's no one there to support you. And so Doorways stands in the gap. And how awesome is that?
All we need is a house we can breathe in. Hope builds a home and it's got you believing. As wide as the windows, as tall as the ceiling. The doorway's a bridge, but it can't stop you leaving. These bricks and this mortar are bones. Won't you come home?